July 20th, 1973, 7:30 a.m. Bruce Lee woke up for the last time. In exactly 12 hours, he would be dead. But here's what nobody tells you: the last 24 hours of Bruce Lee's life are filled with strange coincidences, unexplained decisions, and moments that still haunt investigators 50 years later. This is the minute-by-minute breakdown of a legend's final day on Earth. Bruce Lee was at the peak of his power. Enter the Dragon was about to make him the biggest star on the planet. He had everything: fame, fortune, a beautiful family, and a body that doctors called a perfect specimen. He was 32 years old, 135 pounds of pure muscle with only 1% body fat. His resting heart rate was 42 beats per minute, lower than most Olympic athletes. So how does a man like this just die? The official story says it was a simple allergic reaction. But when you look at the timeline of his last day, nothing is simple. Nothing makes sense. And the more you dig, the darker it gets. Friday morning, July 20th. Bruce wakes up in his home at 41 Cumberland Road, Kowloon Tong. His wife Linda is there. His two children, Brandon, 8 years old, and Shannon, 4 years old, are still asleep. Bruce seems normal, energetic, focused. He eats a light breakfast. He always ate light. His philosophy was, the less you eat, the sharper your mind. By 9 a.m., he's already in his private gym. Witnesses say he trained harder than usual that morning. He was obsessed with a new film project called Game of Death. He had been pushing himself to choreograph the most complex fight scenes ever captured on camera. But here's the first strange detail. Multiple people who saw Bruce that morning said he looked exhausted. His eyes were darker than usual. He seemed distracted, like something was weighing on his mind. What was he thinking about? By noon, Bruce leaves his house and heads to Golden Harvest Studios. He has a meeting with his producer and close friend, Raymond Chow. They're discussing Game of Death and another project, a film called Game of Death 2. But during the meeting, something happens. Bruce complains of feeling dizzy. He excuses himself and goes to the bathroom. Raymond waits. 10 minutes pass. 15 minutes. Finally, Bruce comes back looking pale. "I don't feel right," Bruce tells him. Raymond suggests they reschedule. But Bruce refuses. No, I'm fine. Let's keep working." This was typical Bruce Lee. He never showed weakness. Never admitted pain. Even when his body was screaming at him to stop, he pushed harder. They finish the meeting around 2 p.m. Raymond asks Bruce if he wants to go to the hospital. Bruce laughs it off. "I just need some rest." Here's where the story gets complicated. Instead of going home to rest, Bruce makes a decision that would haunt everyone involved. He goes to the apartment of actress Betty Ting Pei at 67 Beacon Hill Road. Betty Ting Pei was 26 years old. Beautiful, and one of the most famous actresses in Hong Kong. She was also cast in Game of Death. Officially, Bruce and Raymond were going there to discuss the script with her, but rumors had been swirling for months. Tabloids whispered that Bruce and Betty were having an affair. Linda Lee has always denied this. Betty has always denied this. But the whispers never stopped. They arrive at Betty's apartment around 2:30 p.m. The three of them, Bruce, Raymond, and Betty, sit down to talk about the film. They order some hashish tea. Bruce drinks it. He seems relaxed. Around 4 p.m., Raymond leaves. He has another meeting across town. He tells Bruce to rest and that he'll come back later to pick him up for a dinner meeting with Australian actor George Lazenby at 8 p.m. Bruce, Lee, and Betty Ting Pei are now alone in the apartment. What happened during these 3.5 hours? Nobody knows for certain. Betty Ting Pei's story has remained consistent for 50 years, but investigators have always found holes in it. According to Betty, around 7 p.m., Bruce complains of a severe headache. She offers him a painkiller Equagesic, a prescription medication that combines aspirin and a muscle relaxant called Meprobamate. Bruce takes the pill and lies down on Betty's bed to rest. "I'll wake you up before Raymond comes back," Betty tells him. Bruce closes his eyes. Betty goes to watch TV in the living room. But here's the question that haunts everyone. Why didn't Bruce just go home? His house was 20 minutes away. His wife was there. His own bed. His own doctors. Why stay at Betty's apartment? And here's an even darker question. Was that really the first time Bruce took Equagesic that day? Autopsy reports would later reveal traces of cannabis in his system. Some investigators believe he had been taking various substances to manage chronic back pain, a pain he hid from everyone. 7:30 p.m. Raymond Chow returns to Betty's apartment. He's ready to pick up Bruce for the dinner meeting. He knocks on the door. Betty opens it, and immediately Raymond can tell something is wrong. "Bruce won't wake up," Betty says, panic in her voice. Raymond rushes to the bedroom. Bruce is lying on the bed, motionless. His skin is pale. His breathing is shallow. Raymond shakes him. "Bruce! Bruce!" Nothing. Raymond slaps his face. Shouts his name. Still nothing. Betty is crying now. Raymond grabs the phone and calls Bruce's personal physician, Dr. Siho Fo Wai. The doctor lives nearby and arrives within 10 minutes. Dr. Seo Chu examines Bruce. He presses on his chest, checks his pulse, shines a light in his eyes. Bruce's pupils don't respond. Dr. Si Chu tries to revive him, pressing, pumping, desperately trying to bring him back, for 10 minutes. He works on Bruce's body. Finally, he stops. "We need an ambulance now." The ambulance arrives at 8:30 p.m. Paramedics rush Bruce to Queen Elizabeth Hospital. They try everything: oxygen, adrenaline, cardiac massage. Doctors swarm around him, but by 9 p.m., the doctors know the truth. Bruce Lee's brain has swelled to 1,575 grams, 13% larger than normal. The pressure has crushed his brainstem. There's no coming back from this. At 11:30 p.m., the doctors make the official call. Bruce Lee is dead. The news breaks at midnight. Within hours, Hong Kong is in chaos. Fans flood the streets, screaming, crying, refusing to believe it. Conspiracy theories explode. The police launch an investigation, and the questions begin. Here's what makes this story so dark. The initial police report lied. The first official statement said Bruce died at home. No mention of Betty Ting Pei, no mention of the apartment. Raymond Chow and Betty both agreed to hide the truth because they were terrified of the scandal, but reporters smelled blood. They dug, they found witnesses. Within days, the truth came out. Bruce Lee died in another woman's apartment. The tabloids went insane. Secret lover. Love nest death. The conspiracy theories multiplied. Theory number 1. Betty Ting Pei poisoned him out of jealousy. Theory number 2. Triad gangsters had him killed because he refused to pay protection money. Theory number 3. Rival. Martial artists cursed him or worse. Poisoned him. Theory number 4. The Equagesic pill was spiked with something lethal. The official autopsy concluded death by misadventure. A hypersensitive reaction to Equagesic caused cerebral edema, but many refuse to accept it. How does the world's fittest man die from a common painkiller? In Chinese culture, there's a belief in the curse of success. They say if you become too powerful, too famous, too perfect, the universe will correct the imbalance. Some believed Bruce Lee had flown too close to the sun. His son, Brandon Lee, would die 20 years later at age 28 in another freak accident on a movie set shot by a prop gun that wasn't supposed to have real bullets. 2 generations. 2 mysterious deaths. 2 legends cut down in their prime. Coincidence? Or something darker? The real tragedy of Bruce Lee's last 24 hours isn't the mystery. It's the waste. If Bruce had gone home that afternoon instead of to Betty's apartment, would Linda have noticed something was wrong earlier? If he had gone to the hospital when he felt dizzy at the studio, would doctors have caught the brain swelling in time? We'll never know. What we do know is this: Bruce Lee spent his entire life pushing his body beyond human limits. He trained 7 hours a day. He experimented with extreme diets. He took painkillers and muscle relaxants to keep performing through injuries. He never rested, never stopped, never slowed down. His philosophy was, "I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times." Bruce Lee practiced life 10,000 times. He lived more in 32 years than most people live in 80. But maybe, just maybe, he pushed too hard. Maybe the universe couldn't handle that much intensity in one body. Or maybe it was just a tragic, random, senseless accident. Either way, July 20th, 1973, the world lost a legend. But here's what they don't tell you: Bruce Lee knew he was going to die young. In interviews months before his death, he said, "I will probably die before I'm 40. How did he know? That's a story for another time.